There's a group of comic fans that I just don't like. And I'm talking about the comic fans that don't want next generation characters. I'm talking about the group of people that hated on Miles Morales. I'm talking about the group of people that hate Jane Foster Thor or any other next generation characters just because they did not grow up with that character and they do not like those books. Okay, Mrs. Smartass, I get what you're saying, but I'm gonna say this. They have to do something different. If you're throwing the same story over and over again, expecting a different result just because you don't like that new direction, that doesn't give you the right to not only shit on that character, but also shit on their fans as well. I've seen it multiple times, and it just really makes me personally believe that comic book fans are very hard to talk to. There's a lot of times that I talk to comic book fans, and clearly they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. When I say things like, oh yeah, we got a black Iron Man, we had another Thor, we had another Captain America, and they never say a word about them. They never do. And they shit on what were going on in the new recent comic books, but yet they don't want to look at the past. The past will always show the future. The future is there will always be characters that gonna be Iron Man, Thor, Captain America. You always will have that. Maybe sometimes Spider-Man, if they really want to go do that direction. They've done it twice. Doc Ock and Miles. They'll probably do another one. I'm saying, no matter whatever they go, they'll always get shitted on because they clearly don't do their research, and they clearly just want to read what they grew up on. I mean, I'm an Iron Man fan, and I even told the recent writer that Iron Man lost his love interest before Spider-Man did. And he was completely stunned, and he said to me, I have this issue. Wow, I didn't know about this. Thanks. Says a lot. Granted, I have told things about people that clearly didn't know Rhodey was Iron Man at one point. I have told things that, yeah, before Jane Foster was Thor, there was Eric Masterson. No one says a word about him, and the only times that you do hear about Eric Masterson as Thor is only those group of audience that praise that fucking character. And I heavily dislike that character. If you're a fan of him, more power to you, but I don't like that character at all. I thought he was an inferior to Thor. Granted, I thought Beta Ray Bill and Jane Foster were better than Eric Masterson, but that's just my personal preference. But it's just, the problem is, I just see more and more hatred of the next generation characters, and it really upsets me. It really does. You even hear people say Flash Thompson was a terrible Venom. I'm like, wow, sure he was. He did things that Eddie Brock didn't do. Now, granted, Eddie Brock is back to being Venom, but they clearly did a better direction on that character than, I would say, after Maximum Carnage and Lethal Protector. That's the only good thing about Eddie Brock now. Without this new run that he's having right now, he'll be just a character that had great stories, but just overall, clearly Marvel didn't know the hell they were going with that character. It's just, I've been seeing a lot of things like, wow, they didn't know what to do with him. They knew he sold very well, so they made him an anti-hero, but it's just that they were trying to do something that they clearly didn't know what the hell they're going for. And that's one of the things I hate about Marvel and DC, that when they change a character, usually they have a plan. Sometimes they don't. In case with Venom, when he became a villain to an anti-hero, they had something there as bare bones on what it is, but when you see the character grow in the 90s after Lethal Protector and him teaming up with the Punisher, they clearly didn't know what the fuck to do with that character, because over the years you could just see they went up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Some books were great, some books were fucking terrible, and just whatever. The only good books I would say I would really recommend before the recent run, even before that, before he got the Venom symbiote back, is the Lethal Protector, that whole 6-part miniseries, and then after that, Dark Origin, the first Venom ongoing series, and also the run before the current run right now. That's basically it. That says a lot about that character, and I've been a fan of that character my whole life. I love the character. I love he battled a lot of characters. He even fought fucking Iron Man. But besides all that shit, I mean, usually when Marvel changed something to a character from a villain, from a hero, it usually comes with a plan. But with Venom, they sometimes don't. And also the same goes to Miss Marvel, aka Carol Danvers. They didn't know what to do with that character until her second run on Miss Marvel, and then eventually they had her became Captain Marvel, which is a great direction in my opinion. But it's just, the fact is, what makes me hate about comic book fans, and just, or specific people of comic book fans, they hate on something because it's not what they grew up on, or they'll go out of their way to make it fail. Like, for example, the Avengers game. I hear it now, the reason why that Avengers game failed is, one, they did not want a server on that Avengers game, and two, it's because of Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan. They did not like and did not want Kamala Khan to be the center point of the Avengers game. I could agree to a certain point for them saying we want an Avengers game that stars the Avengers, but the reason why I'm okay with it is, one, they were the star of the show. She was the key that made them assemble one another, and it really was one of the things I really enjoyed. I just feel like that made that game really great, in my opinion. Besides the problems that game had, it just really kind of shows to me that no matter what everyone says, people will always hate next generation characters. There's already people hating Miles Morales, which clearly, and I mean clearly, just shows you that they don't give a fuck about anyone but their own opinion. And it's very hard to talk to comic book fans without hearing the toxic bullshit people that clearly hate a particular character or a particular storyline, and it's almost at that point that it's in Star Wars level. Because when you talk to Star Wars fans, you can't say nothing if you like the sequel trilogy. You can't say nothing if you like the prequel trilogy. It's almost like keep your opinions to yourself. And that just says a lot. And, you know, a lot of times I do that. A lot of times I just keep my opinions to myself. Or I'll just say, I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me because I have a different viewpoint than others. I'm done now. There's really nothing there I can say anymore. I mean, if you agree with me, more power to you. If you disagree with me, more power to you. I'm just saying how I feel. I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired of seeing it. And I wish there was another website so I can go to and do my videos and praise the characters that I enjoy.